I have an amazing story here from Reuters. It's about air pollution, and it has some absolutely stunning facts in it. So they explain, almost 1 in 7 children live in areas with high levels of outdoor air pollution, mostly in South Asia, and their growing bodies are most vulnerable to damage, the UN Children's Agency, UNICEF, said on Monday. UNICEF called on almost 200 governments to restrict use of fossil fuels to give twin benefits of improved health and slower climate change. About 300 million children live in areas where outdoor pollution was highest, defined by UNICEF as at least 6 times international guidelines set by the World Health Organization. Air pollution was a major contributing factor in the deaths of around 600,000 children under 5 years old every year, causing illnesses such as pneumonia. Okay, so here's why this story is so important. Stuff like this, these are the real killers in the world. And it doesn't get hardly any press because it's not something that's boom in your face. It is long, it takes time to set in, and it is most certainly deadly. Now, ISIS obviously catches cameras more because they're beheading people, and obviously that's a serious issue. I'm not downplaying that. I'm not saying you shouldn't cover that. Of course you should cover that. It's a real news story. No question about it. But they can turn that into disaster porn and run it 24/7 and say that's the main thing you got to worry about. Be afraid, be afraid, be afraid. But come to find out, the numbers are absolutely devastating for something like air pollution, which nobody thinks about. I don't think about it. You don't think about it. There are people in the fucking furthest left-wing environmentalist groups who don't wake up in the morning and go, fuck, man, clean air is super important. But this is the results. These are the results. This is the effect of it. 7 million people a year, we found out recently, are killed by air pollution. And we also found out recently it is officially categorized as a carcinogen now. Air that is not clean is a carcinogen. 7 million people every single year die from it. You know, it's almost like, and this is the best way to really, explain it so that people get it. It's almost like if you live in a place with really shitty air, when you're outside walking all day, it's like you're smoking a cigarette every time you're outside. Obviously, that's if the air's dirty enough. But the numbers bear this out, man. 600,000 kids dying who are under 5 because of air pollution, 7 million people a year. So that's those are insane numbers. So it's not just this abstract thing of clean air would be nice because then I get to see the mountain that's a few miles away that I can't see because of the smog. No, clean air is nice because it's a necessity to live. If you're breathing in dirty air all the time, you're gonna probably die young. It's the same thing. My father, for example, died because he was a chain smoker. He got lung cancer and died young. He died at age 56. But so if you were to ask him at age 50, if you were to ask me at age 50, I'd be like, no, well, obviously not me at age 50, me talking about him when he was 50. I would say, yeah, no, he's the perfect example of somebody who can smoke for basically their whole life, 2 packs a day or whatever it was, and still be all right. I mean, he seems like he's in good shape. Boom, 6 years later, dead. I feel like it's the same thing for air pollution. You live in a place where there's super polluted air, and you act like, well, look, I don't immediately feel bad right away, but it takes time to set in, and the effects take time. And then eventually, boom, it catches up to you. So basically, me doing this story is a plea for the media to take it more seriously and to cover it and to recognize these are the silent killers of so many people, and for just people to recognize that this is why, most important point here, something like regulation is so important. I mean, modern nations, they have regulations on the amount of pollution and toxins and carcinogens you can release in the atmosphere. There's different kinds of regulation on how you dispose of certain toxic waste there used to not be, and then when people caught up and they said, okay, no, we got to fix this to a certain extent. So when you have, for example, the Republican Party who said, no, we want to get rid of the regulations as much as possible. Some famously said we want government to be so small we can drown it in the bathtub. Donald Trump said, I want to eliminate the EPA and the FDA and get rid of all regulations on coal and all regulations on the fossil fuel industry. Okay, dipshit, then these numbers go up, they go up, they go up, they go up. You will be responsible for killing more people. Just because it takes some time to see the effects doesn't mean it ain't true. It indeed is true. So lack of efficient regulation of the marketplace kills. I'll repeat that. Lack of efficient regulation of the marketplace kills. This isn't some hippy-dippy stuff, bro. He's making up. No. It's in the studies. It's in the numbers. It's been proven. So, that's something to keep in mind when it comes to going in the voting booth, that there are ideologies that are so insidious, and we don't even notice how insidious they are up front. I mean, we would call it stupid that Trump wants to get rid of the EPA and the FDA and deregulate all these industries. Of course, we'd call that really stupid. But even I wasn't able to piece together just how dangerous it is until you get stuff like this. Well, obviously, in the sense of the food, like, oh, look, whoop, salmonella outbreak, E. coli outbreak, whatever it is, people dead. In that sense, I got how dangerous it was. But the long-term effects for pollution and for the carcinogens in the air and how many people it would kill, I didn't piece that together. So now you know. We need to efficiently regulate, and we need to start cracking down on this stuff more and move towards renewable technology, because we need to do it for our survival.